Hey everybody, Full Moon Cat here with another Carrion Fields tutorial, and this time I'm going to be covering basic movement and basic commands that you use to get around through the game. So this is definitely aimed at people that have never played a MUD before, just to kind of get an idea of how you navigate this game world. So when you look at a room, if you type L for look, that will show you the room that you're in. The makeup of the room consists of a title, so in this case, the center of the vast cavern, a description, and that description might contain interesting keywords that you might want to look at later, so definitely read these descriptions, at least the first time you enter a room. And then exits. Exits will show you the different ways in which you can leave the room. And then the next thing that you'll see is your command prompt. And this will tell you certain things about your character. It'll tell you the number of hit points you have, the amount of mana and movement, how much experience until your next level, and what percentage along you are, as well as the game time. So it's 6 a.m. in the game right now. You'll find that these, if you're playing on Mudlet, these are also reflected in the bars down here. 100% will correspond to my health bar. M over here will correspond to my mana, and MV over here will correspond to my moves. So to get through the game, you can look at the different exits that you have and decide which way you want to go. Directions in the game are west, north, east, south, up, and down. And not every room will have that option. So for example, in the room that I'm in now, I can leave north, east, south, west, or down. If I try to go up, it'll tell me that I cannot go that direction. Another way to monitor the exits in rooms, if you want to, and you can go to the main menu here in this Mudlet interface, and you can click on exits. And it'll pull up this little window here that'll show me the different ways that I can go in a room. And if I wanted to, I could have this open. If that's easier for you to have more of a graphical reference, then as I move around through the game world, it'll show me different ways in which I can go. Personally, I recommend you just get used to using the actual game's text interface. It's a lot easier to read, and you're not going to have to be diverting your eyes from the screen the way that you would if you were to use the exits interface, but that's entirely up to you. Let's talk a little bit about hidden exits. Usually the ways that you can leave rooms are noted in the exits, but that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes there's places that you can go that are not indicated in your exits. So in the academy, for example, in this quiet alcove, if I look at this sign, it'll tell me about crawling. So if you just go west, then that's walking west. If I go east, that's walking east. In this direction, I cannot go east. I can't just walk. But what I can do is I can crawl east. And sometimes there will be places where you will find out that you have to crawl in order to get there. This is one of those places. And if I look east, you can see that there's a window there, and that's why. That's why I can crawl through it. So looking is another way that you can see things about the exits in the room. So if I just do L look without any sort of an argument, that'll show me the overview of the room. But if I look in a direction, then it will tell me a little bit about whatever happens to exist in that direction. Sometimes that has to do with exits, and sometimes that has to do with other things in the room. And sometimes those things are important. So we've already seen that there are some exits that you have to crawl instead of walk through, and those don't show up here in your exits. When we had to crawl, I had to look over, there was a window, and then I crawled through the window. But there are definitely some rooms that you can enter without having to crawl, but they don't show up on your exits list. These are hidden exits. So in this case, this is one of the rooms in the academy. It shows up as a dead end. If I look in all of my directions, you can see that one of these definitely has something interesting, right? So you've got a fissure to the west leading to a beaded curtain So what I might be tempted to do here is to crawl, maybe. Let me try to crawl west. I can't do that either. If I look in west, I see that there is definitely something interesting here. Maybe I can open the curtain. And now I've got a west exit. So that is one type of hidden exit where when I look over, there's some sort of a door or something that I can open to gain access to that direction. And there was no indication when I walked into this room that that west exit existed. It wasn't until I looked west that I saw that there was a curtain that I could open, and then I was able to walk into it. Another type of hidden exit is one that exists that doesn't show up on the exits but doesn't have a door. So in this case, I'm in the Grove. This is an area that is just north of Eastern Road. And I've walked into a part of the Grove where there is a hidden exit. So that exit is to the east. If I look east, I can see that there is something there. If I look all, that might jump out at me, it might not. But there is definitely something there to the east. If I go open east, there's nothing there to open. I can go crawl east. I can't crawl east either, but what I can simply do is just walk through it. So sometimes literally walking into walls is a good idea because you might not know that an exit exists until you try it. So in this area, there's a lot of that. So we've got no exits showing up once I'm in here in the shrubs, but there are directions that I can go, and I might be able to look to see them, or I can just simply spam directions until I'm running into walls, which might actually be faster and easier, right? So as you go through the game, just be aware that you can walk sometimes in directions that are not indicated by the exits. Those are only the obvious exits. And sometimes exits are going to be hidden from you in a couple of different ways, and sometimes there might be doors to open or something like that. Let's talk about doors really quick. So if I go up here to the northern part of this cavern, there is a north exit, but it's surrounded by these little brackets. What that indicates is that there's a door that direction, and then that door is closed. If I look in that direction, you'll see that there is a door that leads north, but the door is closed. I can open that in several ways. I can say open north. I can also close north. Or I can actually use the door's name. In this case, the door is named door. So open door, close door. So you can manipulate doors by opening and closing them. If the door is open and I look at again, you'll see that it's no longer surrounded by brackets. So I wouldn't even necessarily know that the door was there unless I looked. And you will find that there are places in the game where there are open doors by default that you can close, and that can be advantageous in different situations. Other commands that are very basic that you'll use all the time, you've got where. That will tell you what other players are in the area that you're in. So in this case, I've only got one player, and it's me. There's another command who that will show you who is logged in at the time that I can see. This is not necessarily all of the people that are logged in. These are just the people that I can see at the moment. Somebody might be hidden, somebody might be invisible. This particular character that I'm playing right now is just a level 2, I think. Yeah, level 2 assassin. I don't have any of the ability to see people that are hidden or invisible. So right now I can only see the people on my who list. And then the same thing with where. So now this person is here in the town with me. If he was invisible or hidden, I wouldn't see him on where either. But that's basically how you can find people in the game. You can walk around. You're going to find yourself walking around a lot and typing where all the time to find out where people are. If you want to meet up with somebody, or if you're like hunting somebody because you want to kill them, that's the way to do it. You go to areas and you type where, and then it'll tell you the room title that they're in. So I'm in Market Square right now, so on where I show up in Market Square. And if I was another person hunting this character, then I would know that person's in Market Square, and I can go there to kill them. Another thing that you can do in the game related to exits is scanning. So I can scan north. And what that'll do is it'll tell me within my character's eyesight what they can see in that direction. So in this case, north 1, I see a drunk man and a dog. So if I go north, you can see that those things are there. If I scan north again, I don't see anything because there's either not anything there or I cannot see it. You can also go scan all. Other commands that you will be interfacing with frequently are score, SC. That'll show you kind of your character sheet. It's basically an overview of what's going on with your character. Also effects, AF. That will show you different things that you are affected by that might modify you in some way. This would be both beneficial and detrimental. You can see in this case I have a commune on me, that's a prayer called Bless, that does a couple of things that are good for me. There's also skills, SK, that'll show you your character's skill tree. So these are the skills that you both know already and will eventually learn in the future. Keep in mind, these are not all of the skills that you will ever learn in your lifetime. There are skills that will unlock as you progress through the game that will be added to this list. So keep in mind, these might not be every single skill that you'll have to practice. PR for practices will show you what you already know and what you can learn. And it will also tell you how many practice sessions that you have left. In my case, I've got 3. Group, GR, will tell you a little bit about your group. If you're joining other players, then they would also be listed here. But this will give you a nice little overview that it shows you your level, what class you are, your name, and a little bit about you. So if there were some other people in this group, I would see that information about them as well, except for this experience. I wouldn't see that for my group members, I only see that for myself. To pick up items, there's a get command, so get note. It would get an item that was on the ground. Drop will drop that same item, or any item. You can look, it's now on the ground, and that's now listed in the room description details. If I don't want to worry about what these NPCs' names are, or I don't know, I can also interact with them using 1 dot or 2 dot. Basically, that's just saying, look at the first thing in the room, look at the second thing in the room. So 1 dot is me, 2 dot is the guard, and 3 dot's going to be the paladin guild guard. You can also do that with things on the ground. So if I drop my note here, I see there's something on the ground. I don't really know what it is. I can either get all, which will just pick up anything on the ground, or I can get 1 dot, which will get the first thing that's on the ground. If there were multiple things on the ground, let's go ahead and drop my note and maybe my haversack. And I want to get the second thing on the ground. I can get 2 dot, and it will pick up the note instead of the haversack. So that's a way that you can interact with items that are in the room or people that are in the room without necessarily having to type their name. If you don't know it, you can't tell. There's a lot of items like that where you look at it, it says, there's a shiny object on the ground, and you're like, okay, get object. And it's like, that's not here. It clearly says it's here. I don't know. So get all, get 1 dot will solve those issues for you. The final thing that I'm going to cover in this video is the recall command. So if you look at my character, I'm a level 2 assassin. Up until level 10, you have the ability to recall. If you help recall, you'll find out that it takes you to your hometown. This is a really nice thing if you get lost, especially as you're a new player. You might not be able to find your way back to your hometown. In my case, my hometown is Galadon. If you're a new player, I hope you picked Galadon as yours as well. And then you'll be back in Galadon safely at whichever temple corresponds to your alignment. I'm neutral, so Temple of Moon. I hope this video was helpful and will help you kind of navigate the world and use the basic commands. Definitely check out the rest of the video series. I'm going to be going into some more specifics on things that you'll be dealing with commonly at low levels and throughout the game.